Welcome to Agam's lecture series, a lecture series designed to bring teaching to the comfort of your home. Today we are going to continue our discussion in the subject General Biology 1, coded GNS 132, and that is part 8. The topic of discussion today is genetics. And genetics is the study of the nature of heredity and variation. Study of the nature of heredity and variation. In genetics, we have laws of heredity. In genetics, we have laws of heredity. And these two laws are on similarities and variation. There is a tendency for living organisms to resemble themselves. That is similarities. There is also a tendency for living organisms to vary or differ from themselves. That is variation. Note that when we treated cells, we discovered that a cell, the body is made up of what? Cells, normally called somatic cells. Every cell contains a nucleus, and the nucleus controls the activities of a cell. Chromosomes occur in nucleus. Chromosomes. And these chromosomes occur in pairs. A somatic cell contains 23 pairs of chromosomes. 23 pairs of chromosomes. Of these 23 pairs, 22 are body chromosomes called autosomes. Autosomes. Only one pair is a sex chromosome. One pair. These autosomes contain identical chromosomes. That's why we call them homologous. Identical. That's why we call it homologous. The sex cell contains different chromosomes, and that's why we will say they are unidentical. Unidentical. And these sex cells, these chromosomes are X and Y. X and Y. X and Y. Each X or Y chromosome contains 23 single chromosomes. Because they are single, we say they have haploid number N. Haploid number N. During fertilization in any organism, whether man or any other organism, an X chromosome, which is a gamete, and a Y chromosome, which is a gamete, they will unite in what we call what? Fertilization. When that fertilization comes, 23 single chromosomes will come from Y, and 23 will come from X, and both of them will make up 23 pairs. So that the resulting zygote will have 23 pairs of chromosomes. 23N, and that 23N giving you diploid number 2N. Diploid number 2N. And by doing that, they are restoring diploid in the resulting zygote. A zygote is the result of the union between male gamete and female gamete. Now, on the chromosomes, there are transverse bands, dark bands on the chromosomes, called transverse bands. On these chromosomes are located genes. And the point on the chromosome where genes are located are called the locus, singular, loci plural. Note that genes are the unit of what? Inheritance. Genes are the unit of inheritance. And the gene is made up of nucleic acid. The genes are made up of what? Nucleic acid. And the primary nucleic acid in the gene is the DNA. Full meaning of DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. The DNA contains 4 items: a nucleotide, a sugar, a phosphate, and a nitrogenous base. This nitrogenous base can be adenine, tyrosine, guanine, or cytosine. Adenine, thymine, guanine, or cytosine. For when we're like in school, we remember it by saying at government college, ATGC. Gives you the abbreviation for you to remember it. Now, there are 2 types of cell division: mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis and meiosis. Autosomes or body cells undergo mitosis because mitosis occurs during growth and development of organisms. Is this mitotic division that makes organism to grow. Meiosis occurs during formation of what? Gametes. And you know, it's gametes that take part in sexual reproduction. When male and female gametes fuse, they will now give back to a zygote. The male and female gametes have haploid number of what? Chromosomes. When they unite, they have double number of chromosomes called what? Diploid. Haploid 1n, diploid 2n, as I said entirely. Now, phases of mitosis. Mitosis occurs in 4 phases. Mitosis occurs in 4 phases. We are going to look at the mitosis, the diagram of mitosis, so that it will help you to understand it. Mitosis. The non-dividing or resting stage of a cell is called interphase. When the cell is not dividing and is resting, is called what? Interphase. And you can see these chromosomes, the chromosomes here are visible, are not visible. You can't see the chromosomes in this interphase stage. Now, after the interphase, if the phase is divided, it enters the first phase called prophase. During this prophase, the chromosomes become visible. The chromosome become thick. The chromosome shorten during the prophase. After this prophase stage, the chromosome, the cell goes to the second stage of mitosis, which is what? Metaphase. During metaphase, the nuclear membrane disappears. The centriole that initiates cell division, moves to opposite poles of the cell, and spindles will start forming. Spindles will start forming. But each of the chromosomes will be joined at the center, called centromere, and they now align at the equatorial region. They align at the center of the cell, and that we call the equatorial region. They line at the center of the cell in what we call the equatorial region. Equator is because a line that divides the earth into 2 is called equator. That's why we call it equatorial region. Then after the metaphase, you go to the third phase called what? Anaphase. During the anaphase, the spindle fibers elongate and pull the chromatids towards the opposite poles. At the opposite poles, the 2 chromatids begin to separate at the opposite poles. And after that, the cell moves to the final stage called what? Telophase. During the telophase stage, the chromatids group themselves together at opposite cells. The chromosome that was now less the chromosome now become less distinct, and the cytoplasm constricts into two or divides into two, so that one chromatin pair will be on top, the other chromatin pair will be down, so that two daughter cells will result, and a new cell membrane or new element reforms to enclose the chromosomes and the nucleus, resulting in what? Two daughter cells. Note that how cells develop and how human beings or any of these organisms develop, that male and female gametes unite to form what? A zygote. By cell division, the zygote divides into two cells to four cells to 8 cells, 8 cells to 16 cells, 16 cells to 32 cells, 32 cells to 64 cells, 64 cells to 128 cells, 128 cells to 250 cells, 250 cells to 512 cells, 512 cells to 1024 cells, 1024 to 10 to 40 to 2048 cells, 2048 cells to 4090 cells, until you have mass and mass of cells. Is this mass of cells that will start moving and grouping themselves together, so that a group of cells will form what? A tissue. Then group of tissues will form what? Organs. Groups of organs that perform the same function will form what? A system. And all the systems will form the entire what? Organism. That is the end of part 8 of this lecture. In our next lecture, we continue with meiosis, the division that produces what? The gametes, from where we now discuss the other details of genetics. I remain your lecturer, Agama Idu Agama. And if you are thrilled by this our discussion and lecture, click on the subscribe button. Until we see you again, thank you and God bless you.